What's up, everybody? This is Domingo Hero Necro of the Ice Barrier, and today's Yu-Gi-Oh video I am going to be doing a deck profile. And the deck profile I'm going to be doing in this video is going to be my updated version of my Bubble Beat deck profile. So, Bubble Beat is an old deck from back in the days involving Elemental Hero Bubble Man, involving the Bubble Beat FTK with Bubble Man, and of course XYZ monsters like Blade Armor Ninja. And of course it's evolving more on the Elemental Hero side, mostly Bubble Man, to help you go for your FTKs in this deck involving the two Blade Armor Ninjas. And of course this deck is an old school deck from back in the days, and I love Bubble Beat. Bubble Beat is amazing. Like it's a fun deck. And of course this is the updated version of this deck because there are a couple changes in this deck. Unfortunately, ever since Izzo Two Tails and Omega got banned in the TCG, we can no longer play that card anymore, as well as equip cards and all that stuff, due to Izzo being banned. And I had to make a couple of changes in this deck. At first it was a little tough, but I'm trying to figure out, okay, what card should I put in now since Izzo is banned and we cannot play Izzo in the equip spells anymore since Izzo is banned in TCG. So I came up with some ideas of what cards to put in and stuff, and I did find some cards to put in this stuff, so I'm going to show you that right now when I do this deck profile. So I'm going to show you guys the main deck and extra deck, as well as the card choices and ratios and all that. So without further ado, let's get this deck profile started. So here we go. We're going to start off with the main deck first. So in the main deck, first to start off, we're going to start off with the monsters, as we do play 3 copies of Elemental Hero Bubble Man. Bubble Man is one of the most important monsters in Bubble Beat deck, so it's incredible. So y'all know what Bubble Man does. If he's the only card in the hand, you could special summon it. If this card, if you have no cards in your hand or field, you could summon out Bubble Man, you can draw 2 cards. So that second effect doesn't come up that much. You're mostly going to use this card's first effect, where he's the only card in the hand, then you special summon it. So I mean, the drawing effect doesn't come up that often, but when it does, like in certain situations, like if you have no cards in your hand or field, you're in trouble. Let's say you top deck the Bubble Man and you get a chance to draw 2 cards, so you guarantee something to make a comeback. But Bubble Man, we use him mostly for the fusion plays, as well as summon out Master Heroes, and most importantly, we use him for a rank 4 XYZ play to summon out the Blade Armor Ninjas for the Bubble Beat FTK. So that's why in this Bubble Beat deck, you always got to play Bubble Man 3, and Bubble Man is one of the most important cards for the Bubble Beat FTK. Alright, another card that I also play at 3 is, of course, the 3 copies of Elemental Hero Stratos. Stratos is good. Y'all know what it does. When it's summoned, like normal special summon, you search for 1 hero monster and add it to your deck to your hand. And he has another effect where if you can destroy any number of spells and traps your opponent control, up to the numbers of hero monsters you control except for himself. So it's pretty good. So it destroys an opponent's spells and traps and searches for a heal, because it's pretty good. And Stratos is another important card, because if you have any spell cards in your hand and you have a Stratos or E-Call, you set all your spells face down, summon out the Stratos. Or if you don't have a Stratos, you can go E-Call, search for the Stratos, and then you summon out the Stratos, search for the Bubble Man, and then special summon Bowman if he's the only card in the hand. And then you XYZ for the first Blade Armor Ninja. And then if you set a spell card like Monster Reborn, then you can summon out the other Stratos from your graveyard, summon out Stratos, get Stratos' effect to search again, search for another Bubble Man, and then Bubble Man special summon says the only card in the hand, and then you summon, and then you XYZ for a second Blade Armor Ninja. So that's very important. That is why right there is the Bubble Beat FTK, and that's why cards like Bubble Man and Stratos are very important in this deck, especially if you want to go for the Bubble Beat FTK involving 2 Blade Armor Ninjas. Alright, next card that I also play is 3 copies of Elemental Hero Neo Alias. Alias is pretty good. We play him just because we do play some of the Master Hero monsters. There's one Master Hero monster that has a light attribute, and also an Elemental Hero fusion monster like Elemental Hero the Shine we do play. And not only that, but also we use him for Gemini Sparks, because Neo Alias is a Gemini monster, and he has a Gemini effect where he can only be treated as Elemental Hero kneels when it's face up on the field, stuff like that. So which is not very that important, but we mostly use it for Gemini Spark and fusion plays and stuff. Alright, so now we're going to go for the 2-ups here. I do play 2 copies of Elemental Hero Shadow Mist, 2 copies of Elemental Hero Honest Kneels, and 2 copies of Elemental Hero Solid Soldier. So these are the 2 ups I play. Shadow Mist, y'all already know what she does. Special summon, you search for a change quick play spell, which is going to be your mass change. Honest Kneels, during your play turn, you can send in this card in hand, discard, and then you target a hero monster you control and it gains 2,500 attack until the end phase. And then you got Solid Soldier, where his first effect says if this card's normal summon, you special summon a level 4 lower hero monster from your hand. So it's like a Goblin Bird, but for heroes. And the second effect is if this card is sent from the monster zone to the graveyard by a spelled effect, you can target 1 hero monster from your graveyard and special summon it in face-up defense position. So it's pretty good. So it's like a Goblin Bird, Monster Reborn. And of course, do play 2 copies of each, and we do play not only the Ami heroes, but also we do play the mass heroes as well. Especially, like since Shadow Mist is a dark, we go with Dark Law. Honest Kneels is a light, we go for Mass Hero Koga. And then you got Solid Soldier, since it's an earth, you go for Mass Hero Diane. So it's very good. And these cards are very helpful in this Bubble Beat deck. Alright, now we're going to go for the 1-ups to round off the monsters. I play 1 copy of Elemental Hero Liquid Soldier and 1 copy of Elemental Hero Blaze Man. So Liquid Soldier, normal when it's just like Solid Soldier, but it has an effect when it's cursed. Normal summon, you target a level 4 lower hero monster and special from your graveyard and special summon it. And then if this card is used as a fusion material and sent to the graveyard or banished, you can draw 2 cards and discard 1. But you can only activate 1 of those effects of Liquid Soldier per turn and only once that turn. So it's a very hard once per turn. So do keep in mind. Blaze Man's pretty good because, when this card like normal special summon, you search for polarization, add it to your deck to your hand. He also has another effect, like a Fool's Berry here, which we're not going to use as much because we're going to use Blaze Man for searching for poly, because that's very important. And of course, since Blaze Man is a fire attribute, we use him to play summon out future monsters like your Elemental Hero Nova Master, or, just for like Nova Masters, because since Blaze Man is a fire and all that stuff. Liquid Soldier is a water attribute as well, because you do play cards like Absolute Zero and then Mass Hero Acid and stuff like that, especially the combo with those 2 cards. Alright, so that's it for the monsters. Now we're going to move on to the spells. For the spells, I play 3 copies of Mass Change and 3 copies of Mass Charge. These cards are very good. Mass Change, is very important because we do play a lot of the Mass Heroes. And Mass Charge is good too because this card has an effect where you can target a Change Quick Play spell and a hero monster from your graveyard and add those cards back to your hand. So it's a very good recycling card, so that way you can get your Mass Change back in your hand, and then you can even add any hero monster from your graveyard. It could be your Honest Kneels, it could be Bubble Man, it could be Stratos, it could be Solid Soldier, it could be Liquid Soldier, it could be any hero. And then, it's good for like the recycling, so that way you can easily go for more Mass Heroes, summon out more Mass Heroes and stuff. So that's why I play 3 of each of these, and they're very good. Okay, and now I'm going to show you guys the fusion spell cards that we play. I play 2 copies of Polymerization, 2 copies of Super Polymerization, and 2 copies of Miracle Fusion. So 2 of each of these we do play. Of course, Polymerization, you can search with Blaze Man. Super Polymerization is good. We all know what it does, because once you activate this card and discard a card, your opponent cannot activate a response. And then you can even take your opponent's monsters away from use them as fusion materials as well. And the good thing about Super Poly is that it has, since you do play the Ami heroes, with different attributes, if you have a hero monster and you got Super Poly, and let's say your opponent's monster has like a monster with an attribute, let's say like water, for example, right? Then you could activate Super Poly and then take that opponent's water monster and then a hero monster you control, and then use them as materials, and then summon out Absolute Zeros, for example. So there's like so Super Poly is amazing in this day. And of course, Miracle Fusion is a good card as well. It's good, and of course this card could be searched using the effect of Elemental Hero Sunrise. So it's pretty cool. And yeah, we do play Sunrise in this deck as well. Okay, so now we're as far as the other spell cards we play, the 3 options, I do play 3 copies of A Hero Lives and 3 copies of Emergency Call. These cards are very good. Hero Lives, if you control no Fate Sun monster, you pay half your life points, special summon a level 4 lower Elemental Hero from your deck. So you summon out cards like your Shadow Mist and your Stratos most of the time, so that way you get their effects and stuff. And then Emergency Call is pretty good because you can add one elemental hero monster from your deck to your hand. It could be any elemental hero monster, which is very good. It's good for like searching for Stratos or your Bubble Man or your Liquid Soldier, Solids, or your Honest Neos. You know, any elemental hero you want. So these cards at 3 is very important, and it's always good at 3. So, all right. As far as the other spell cards, I do play for the 2-ups. I play 2 copies of Twin Twisters. Twin Twisters is good. You know, I play this just to get rid of the back rows. You know, you discard a card and then destroy up to 2 spells around on the field. The good thing about Twin Twister, if you have this, and let's say you have Shadow Mist in your hand, you activate Twin Twister, you destroy 2 of your back row. Of course, the opponent's back row, and then you have to discard Shadow Mist from your hand first, and then destroy the 2 back rows with Twin Twister's effect, and then you can actually get Shadow Mist's effect to search. So it's pretty good. All right, and for the 1-ups to round up the spells, 1 copy of Reinforcement of the Army, 1 copy of Gemini Spark, and the 1 copy of Monster Reborn to round out the spells. Of course, Rhoda searching for a level 4 lower warrior monster, since you know most of your hero monsters are level 4 and warriors, so it's a pretty good card. So basically, you're playing like 4 E-calls with 3 E-calls and a Rhoda. Gemini Spark is good because we do play Neo Alias in this deck, especially when you tribute the Neo Alias. Because, you know, you tribute a Gemini monster, and of course the Gemini monster we have is Neo Alias. You tribute him, and then you target 1 card in the field and destroy it, and then you draw a card. So, and there's also, it's a cost as well. That Monster Reborn, you know, especially some of the monster, you know, Pledge Waybar. Monster Reborn is one of the most important cards for the Bumblebee FTK. If you have this, the Stratos, and the Bubble Man, all that stuff. So, help you go for, you know, to summon out the 2 Blade Armor Ninjas for the Bumblebee FTK. So, it's very important. So, 1 of each of these is fine, so it's very good. That's it for the spells. As far as the traps, I do play only 5. I play 3 copies of Mirror Force and 2 copies of Back to the Front to round off the main deck. So y'all know what Mirror Forces does. You know, getting rid of all your opponent's monsters that attack position when they declare an attack, destroy them all. Back to the Front is good because because one of the most important things in Bubble Beef is that you want to special summon all your monsters from the graveyard as much as you can. So this card, you know, you target a monster in your graveyard, special summon in the defense position, so it's very good. So Back to the Front does help a lot, you know, since we need to special summon so many monsters in our graveyard, so that way we can get our keys, our combos, and our plays, and all that stuff. So very important. You can play whatever trap card you want or any spell or monsters you want in Bumblebee. It's all up to personal preference. So that's it for the main deck. Now we're going to move on to the extra deck. So we're going to go on with the fusions, and we're going to start off with the Mass Heroes. So for the Mass Heroes that I do play in Bumblebee, I play 1 copy of Mass Hero Asik, 1 copy of Mass Hero Koga, 1 copy of Mass Hero Darklaw, 1 copy of Mass Hero Dividing Wind, 1 copy of Mass Hero Diane, and so there you go. So those are all the Mass Heroes I play. So Acid, you know what it does. You know it has a Harvey's Feather Duster effect on legs, destroy all spells and trap your opponent control, and then also all your monsters your opponent control lose 300 attack. Koga is very interesting. It's probably one of the most underrated Mass Hero monster. Is pretty good. Of course, we do play a couple light monsters like Honest Neos and Neo Alias, which you're mostly going to use Neo Alias though. So Koga has an effect, if you want to know what it does, is this card gains 500 attack points for each monster your opponent controls. Once per turn during either player's turn, you can banish 1 hero monster from your graveyard, then target 1 face-up monster on the field. That target will lose attack points equal to the attack of the monster banished to activate this effect. So it's a pretty good beat stick for Koga, and also it decreases your opponent's attack points as well by banishing hero and stuff. So it's pretty good. It does come up at times, like if you want to make your opponent monster lose attack points. So Koga is useful, very helpful at times. Darklaw, y'all know what he does. He's a Microcosmo leg. You know, any card that's sent for the opponent's graveyard will banish instead. And also once per turn, if your opponent activates an effect that searches, basically add a card next to your hand, you could banish 1 card random from your hand. However, I want to let everybody know, do keep in mind, when you activate that effect, it does not negate an opponent's search. It just says, once your opponent activates an effect that search, then you can banish 1 random card from your hand. So your opponent still get the effect of the search. So do keep that in mind. Dividing Wind is pretty good too. He cannot be destroyed by battle. Your opponent can only attack one monster, and then if Dividing Wind destroys an opponent's monster by battle sent to the graveyard, you draw one card. So it's pretty cool. Forcing your opponent's monster to only forced to attack with only one monster is pretty good. Diane is very good as well, because he has an effect where when this card destroys a opposed monster by battle sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one element level 4 lower hero monster from your deck. So it's pretty cool, especially for the FTKs and stuff as well. If you have this, and then you got like Blade Armor Ninjas and stuff, and your opponent got like a couple monsters, you know, you can take advantage of that and all that stuff. So it's pretty good. So we do play 5 of the mass heroes, so it's pretty cool. Alright, now for the Elemental Hero Fusion monsters that we do play. We play 1 copy of Elemental Hero Absolute Zero, 1 copy of Elemental Hero The Shining, 1 copy of Elemental Hero YUGIOHVIDEO, 1 copy of Elemental Hero Great Tornado, 1 copy of Elemental Hero Noble Master, and 1 copy of Elemental Hero Sunrise to round off the fusions. So Absolute Zero is amazing. You know what it does. It destroys all monsters under control when he leaves the field. The Shining, you know, it gains 300 attack points for each of your banished Elemental Hero monsters. And when this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target 2 Elemental Hero monsters that were banished and add them to your hand. But also do keep in mind, the Shining is good, but the only problem is if you activate that effect, the part that is sent to the field in the graveyard, it's not an if, it's a when. So there comes a time where it could be a mistiming. So do keep that in mind. So that's the only downfall of it. But the Shining is still good. YUGIOHVIDEO is pretty good as well. It's a beat stick because you know, it gains 100 attack for each element for each hero monster in your graveyard. Great Tornado is pretty good. You know, when it's fusion summon, you know, you can cut all face up monsters your opponent controls attack points and cut them in half. Noble Master is pretty good. Since we do play Blaze Man, since he's a fire, of course it destroys the opponent monster by battle. You know, you draw 1 card. And then you got the Shiny where, I mean the Sunrise. It searches for a Miracle Fusion, and of course monsters you control gain like 200 attack points for each monster you control with different attributes. And also if an attack is declared involving a hero monster, you can target 1 card if you're destroyed. So it's pretty cool, you know. Another thing about Noble Master, it does say it destroys an opponent's monster by battle. It never says sent to the graveyard. Like, let's say if it destroys an opponent's monster, let's say if it gets banished, you still get the effect to draw a card. So that's pretty good. And of course, since we do play Super Polarization in this deck, we do play so many Ami heroes in this deck. Like if your opponent has a monster with any of these attributes like water, light, or dark, or wind, or a fire, or if you play like a mirror match and if they have heroes, you know, Super Poly take their monsters and then help you go for your future plays. So it's pretty good. The Army heroes of these cards is very important. And Sunrise, you know, is amazing as well. So all these fusions is incredible, you know, very important in this deck. Alright, that's it for the fusions. Now, as far as the XYZs, I only play 2, and that's the 2 copies of Blade Armor Ninja. Of course, this card does attack twice. You know, you detach 1 extra material, and then you target a ninja, which you could target itself, and then make that monster attack twice until the end phase. Of course, that effect happens once per turn. So this is the most important card you need to play. This is a card you always got to play at 2, because, especially for the Bumblebee FTK, because, you know, let's say you have any spell cards, and let's say you got Stratos, right? So all your spell cards face down. Let's say you have like a Monster Reborn. You know, with some of the Stratos, search for Bubble Man, and since Bubble Man is the only card in your hand, special summon Bubble Man, XYZ overlay, and then XYZ for the first Blade Armor Ninja. Then you can activate Monster Board that you set face down, special summon the Stratos, and then use Stratos' effect to search for the Bubble Man, and then special summon Bubble Man again since he's the only card in your hand, and then you overlay an XYZ for a second copy of Blade Armor Ninja, and then after that you can detach the extra material for these cards and then target them themselves, so that way they can attack twice. So Blade Armor Ninja's attack points is 2200, so that means 22, 20, 44, another 40, 22, 44, so that's 88 points of damage. But that only happens, that's the Bumblebee FTK, but that can only happen unless say if your opponent doesn't have anything, unless say your opponent doesn't have any monsters on the field. So that's why it's very important in this deck, because you want to go for the Bumblebee FTK, and that's what you always do. But even if your opponent does have monsters, you have other cards like, you know, like your other fusions and stuff, and maybe some other monsters besides the Blade Armor Ninja, and you can still find a way to get some wins after that. So it's pretty cool. The Blade Armor Ninja is amazing in Bumblebee deck, because without this card, there would have been no Bumblebee FTK. Alright, that's it for the XYZ. Now for the links, I only played 2, which is the 1 copy of Extra Heal Wonder Driver and the 1 copy of Extra Heal Decimator to round off the extra deck. Wonder Driver, y'all know what it does. You know, when a hero monster is normal special summon to a zone that this card points to, you can target, you know, any fusion spell from your graveyard and set it face down to your field. So basically, like your Polymerization, your Super Poly, your Miracle Fusion, you know, their Mass Change, you know, those cards, so that way you can recycle them back and use them all over again. Dread Decimator is pretty good as well, because this card, and also any hero monster that this card points to, gains 100 attack for each hero monster in the graveyard. And of course, this card does attack an opponent's monster defense position. It can feel a piercing damage, so it's pretty cool. Alright, so that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoy me doing my updated version of my Bubble Beat deck. And like I said before, even though Izzo is gone and we cannot play that card anymore since it's banned in TCG, at least I found some other ways to, like, you know, play this deck and try to make Bubble Beat deck you know, more fun, you know, to say the least. At least try to make it more fun. So that's gonna be it for this video, guys. So don't forget to like the video, share, and subscribe. Post your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about my updated version of my Bubble Beat deck profile. What do you think of it? That's gonna be it for this video. So this is Domingo Hero Network of the Ice Barrier. All I can say is take care, have a good day, goodbye, one, and Domingo Hero Network of the Ice Barrier is signing out. Peace.